What's up, guys? This is Nick here with Get Some Sports, and today's video is going to cover our top 10 best NBA game-worn relic cards. Before we start, I also want to say that game-worn doesn't have to mean it was cards or relics or patches worn in a game. It's also going to count event-worn. I'm also a fan of like some certain event-worn memorabilia cards, things like that. Could be from a floor, as long as it was used in a game or in an event. I'm going to slightly also count player worn. At the number 10 spot, I'm going to give this to Panini Immaculate Soul of the Game set. So the list today is going to cover like certain sets, but it's not going to be as specific as what year it was from. And the sets in general, like Soul of the Game was around for several years, or product sets, I believe. But back to the actual card, like who doesn't want to own a piece of game-worn shoe, the sole? It's part of the game, not to sound too cliche, but like basketball shoes in general and what the player wears on their feet, it's a huge part of the game. And that Kobe having game-worn marks on it, pretty dope. Moving on to the number 9 spot, we're going to go a little more recent here with 24-25 Panini Silhouette Finals patches. And they are all date match, game-worn. I want to take it a step further and say the coolest thing about these cards is the picture you see on the card is from where that patch was you see on the left. Like they were wearing that in the picture of a very historic game. So it's like owning a piece of history. Now Silhouette, to give them even more credit, they have patches where they date match them, but nothing beats a game-worn finals anything with the exact date. Perfecto. At the number 8 spot, I'm a little biased here, but the Las Vegas All-Star Game in 2007, one of the coolest times of my life. I was a sophomore in high school, and it was just such a big deal for us. So when I saw these cards come out, 2007, 2008 Upper Deck SP, I bought a lot of those packs. It's where I pulled one of my first Kobe cards, but it wasn't one of these. I always wanted to hit one of these. A game-worn patch from that 2007 iconic NBA All-Star Game here in Vegas, where I still live. And they're made like, you know, casino cards, and it's just such a big part of our culture living here. Very proud to be from Vegas. Very proud these cards were made kind of for us. That's the way I always saw it. At the number 7 spot, I should have had this higher. I'm going with 2006 Topps Draft Day Moments. So the 2006 draft was the first one I really paid a lot of attention to. And the draft, to me, is the most interesting part of the NBA. That's where like history is made. That's where teams are built. So JJ Redick, Brandon Roy, a piece of JJ's jersey, a piece of the ball Roy's holding. The number 1 pick of that year, Andrea Bargnani, with a piece of his event-worn draft day cap. That's the front of the card on the left, and I clipped the back of the card to zoom it up. So that's a player-worn relic from the card, featured on the card. So I'm going to take Topps' word for it. The 2006 draft, again, it was just the first one I paid attention to, the first one I made mocks on. And I was a junkie at the 2006 Summer League when I was a lot younger. I was always there. And I remember all these guys, and it was just, these cards were really cool. Topps, please bring it back. At the number 6 spot, this one's really cool, the 2017 Panini Cornerstones. And I'm choosing the 2017 set specifically because of the Kobe Cornerstone. It's like it says, Cornerstones. You have patches on all 4 corners of the card, plus an on-card auto in the center. Well, bottom center-ish. And these cards hold great value, but this list isn't about value. It's just about appeal. Again, like getting back into the hobby, I thought these were the most badass kind of cards. We see like the on card, a little more extra to these signatures too, something I noticed. And it just holds great appearance, great value. I gotta go with this. At number 5, I'm going with Panini Preferred Booklets. 13, 14, those sets were really amazing. You would have the entire team's game-worn patches with the team nicknames spelled out, like Lake Show with Kobe and all his friends that year. A lot of different teams had it, like there's Knicks, Warriors, Bulls, like a lot of different teams had these sets. And there's also the Decades booklets, where it's best players of like the 90s, early 2000s. and all a piece of their game worn patches. We just don't see these a lot anymore, especially like since COVID. So these were a cool throwback. I always see these cards online. Watching these box breaks were a lot of fun too. At the number 4 spot, we're going Panini National Treasures Springfield swatches. So these are really cool to me. They did these, I think, a few different years in 2012, 2013 around. There's George Mikan, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic, a lot of like Hall of Fame players with a piece of their actual game-worn jersey, not player-worn, none of that mumbo-jumbo. Something like a piece of their jersey they wore in an NBA game, something that should belong in Springfield. So these swatches, like to me as a collector, owning pieces of history are like number one. And any Hall of Famer, any piece of like the old school game worn, it's crazy. Moving on to number 3, I'm going with the Topps Mercury Wemby debut patches. So there's a lot of different ones from that series. The debut patches are the coolest for one of the most generational players of this current era. And to make this while Topps was unlicensed, I thought was completely innovative, really cool, and actually pretty fun to watch these breaks. It was really fun to watch these breaks. You know, I couldn't really participate in them. And reading the back of these cards, showing that was from his exact day debut, as a collector, to me, those are so cool. It's a piece of history yet again. At number 2, we're just moving quick. Topps Chrome McDonald's. The McDonald patches, again, we're talking history here. We're talking before they played an NBA game, back when they were in high school. The patches they worn from that McDonald's game. The patch they worn from the picture on the card. Cooper Flag, Dairy Queen. And it goes back only till recently. The 2007 McDonald's were cool for autos and stuff. I don't remember seeing like game worn patches. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I think these are gonna hold great value. I think a lot of them are going for a great value, and it's something I would invest in. Because a McDonald's game, just like the NBA draft, that event worn stuff is awesome. All right, let's bring up some honorable mentions. There is a lot more I could put here. I love the Arts Nouveau from Court Kings. I don't know how the fuck to say that. Flawless Collegiate. I love the college patches, but it's funny. A lot of them are just player worn. If you scour the internet, there's actually some that are legit player worn. And then Upper Deck Ovations, they release anything game worn Michael Jordan, I'm definitely taking a look. So like a piece of his UNC jersey, a piece of like game used floor, totally cool. But again, I just wish the college patches were game worn, and you could find some of them on eBay. And if you find any or anywhere you own any, please let me know in the comments. That's cool stuff. At number 1, this is where I agree with everybody. I gotta go Logo Man. Not just in terms of value, in terms of appearance. Nothing is more badass than a Logo Man. I get it. Nothing's more expensive than a Logo Man. A piece of the actual logo. We remember the LeBron triple logo chase. Curry, the Luka went for record numbers. That Michael Jordan, I can't imagine how much these cards are worth. But you can't ever go wrong with the Logo Man. And now, like, Topps are doing their own form of the Logo Man. You saw Upper Deck had one. Most of these companies have their own form of Logo Man. And it's just super iconic. It's the NBA logo. It's attached to a superstar. You can't go wrong here. I wanted to play it safe at number 1, but I gotta agree with the population. I appreciate you guys for watching yet again, but now it's your turn. You know, in the comments, leave some things. What did I miss? I know I missed a lot. And what are your favorites? Like, if in the future I want to redo a lot of these videos and like update my list. Some things I missed. The last few comments from the videos, I was like, oh my, it was embarrassing. You guys really educated me. I'm like, I forgot this, I forgot that. So tell me, what did I miss? What are your favorites? And then finally, give me your list of the top 10 or top 3 even in the comments. That would help us a lot and grow as a community and channel. But appreciate you guys. Have a great day.